Ready to go? All right, hello race fans, and welcome to the Hammerdown Racing League week number 6 for the World of Outlaw 410 Sprint Car Series. Tonight we have about 18 drivers here in the server getting ready to go 30 laps of feature racing. Here in the booth with me tonight, a very special guest. Joining me in the booth is Mr. Langdon Giddens. Mr. Langdon, how are you doing tonight, sir?
Doing pretty good. How are you?
I'm doing great, man. Pleasure to be here. Happy to be on the call here for tonight for the Hammerdown Racing League. What can you tell me about these drivers? I'm pretty new to the series. What kind of racing can we expect?
Well, I'm pretty new too, but I'm expecting, just because last week how I saw everything turn out, we should expect some pretty good racing here. Pretty clean. These are some actually really good drivers.
All right, well, we're getting ready to go heat race number 1. 2 heat races tonight. I believe 12 drivers made time. Your heat race number 1 lineup will look like this. Starting on the front row in the 420 will be Richard Spar. To his outside, and the number 1 will be Nate Anderson. On the second row inside, your current HDR 410 Sprint Car Series points leader will be John LaPresto in the 71. To his outside. To his outside in the 57 is the current points leader, Anthony LaPresto. 2 LaPrestos here on the second row for heat race number 1. Heat race number 3 in the 101 will be Kyle Windsor to his outside. And the number 10 will be Bruce Hilton. 6 cars getting ready to go 8 laps of heat racing action for the Hammerdown Racing Series. Well, Langdon, 6 cars make the call for heat race number 1. Who's your favorite here in heat race number 1?
I'm gonna have to go with the points leader. I mean, he's gonna come out on top in my opinion, Mr. Anthony LaPresto.
Anthony LaPresto starting on the second row outside. On the inside, the 71, John LaPresto. He currently sits 6th in the points as well. Second row, definitely a place to keep your eye out for heat race number 1. We're set to go green next time at a turn number 4. Pace truck will get set to pull in. All right, they're getting tight coming out of turn number 3 and 4. It'll be up to the 420 of Richard Spar. The 1 of Nate Anderson sets up lead him to the green this time out of turn number 4. Green flag is out. We are underway for heat race number 1 for the Hammerdown Racing 410 Series. 420 of Richard Spar is going to take him into turn number 1, followed by the 71 of John LaPresto. He's up to 2nd already, and the number 1 of Nate Anderson in 3rd. Here comes Anderson back on the inside, challenging for 2nd. Side by side for a moment between the 1 and the 7, but the 71 of John LaPresto is going to take over the 2nd position, going down the back straightaway. 420 Richard Spar, currently your race leader, followed by the 71 John LaPresto. Anthony LaPresto in the 57, your points leader, up to 3rd. Nate Anderson back to 4th. Kyle Windsor 5th, and Bruce Hilton's in 6th. John LaPresto in the 57. He's working the inside of the 71 of John LaPresto. He's going to make a slide job for the race lead coming down the front straightaway. Can't make the pass stick. Richard Spar, still your race leader. Here comes the 71 of John LaPresto. 57, Anthony LaPresto is going to take over 2nd down the back straightaway. Looking for the race lead going into turn number 3 and 4. They're side by side for the race lead coming to 2 laps to go. 57 makes a little contact with the 420 of Richard Spar. They're both upside down into the wall. 71, John LaPresto is going to take over the race lead after contact between the top 2. He's got 2 laps to go this time. Kyle Windsor up to second. Nate Anderson in third. Bruce Hilton up to fourth. Richard Spar and Anthony Lepresto into the pits. That'll end their heat race. Coming around to the white flag one more time around the racetrack for John Lepresto. John Lepresto is going to come out of turn number 4 and take home heat race number 1 for the Hammerdown Racing Series 410 Sprint Cars. All right, heat race number 2 coming up on the grid real quick right here. 22 car Adam Buchanan will start on the front row to his outside. The 319 will be Braden McKinley. On the second row inside, the number 12 will be Jeremy Zarfos to his outside, and the 4 car will be Chris Adams. On the third row inside, the 3 will be Steven Hersberg. To his outside will be Scotty Edwards. Once again, 6 cars, 8 laps the distance here at heat race number 2 for the Hammerdown Racing 410 Sprint Cars.
Hopefully we can get a good race in here. Well, good heat race. That way we can move on to the feature. But I'm telling you, these are some great drivers. I've seen them last week, and I mean, they impress you every single lap.
Yeah, we had a good race in heat race number 1. An unfortunate incident between the top 2. Ended their chances for a heat race win early, but we'll see if they can't rebound and make something happen for the feature race later on tonight. All right, heat race number 2, one more time around the racetrack. Langdon, what can you tell us about heat race number 2 and who to keep an eye out for?
You know, I got to go with I'm going to go ahead and go with a stretch and go out for the 4, because I know that 4, I've seen him a few times, and he has just made some crazy laps that you would never expect out of him. I'm really hoping to see him get up front.
All right, Langdon has his eye watching the 4 of Chris Adams starting on the second row outside. Pace track getting set to pull in, and we're green for heat race number 2. 22 car Adam Buchanan off to a great start. The 12 car Jeremy Zarfos, he's going to go to the inside. Can't make the fast stick. He's actually going to lose a spot back to 4th. 4 car Chris Adams up to 2nd, followed by the 319 of Braden McKinley in 3rd. Chris Adams in the 4 car is going to power his way down to the race lead, down the back straightaway. Chris Adams, the man to watch, as Langdon said, is going to take the race lead on lap number 3. Single file racing your top 2 right now. Trouble the 22 car into the inside wall. Your pole sitter 22 car Adam Buchanan into the inside wall. Back up front, single file racing. Chris Adams has just about a 7/10 of a second lead over your second place driver, 319 of Braden McKinley. Jeremy Zarfos in the 12 is in 3rd. He's coming on fast on Braden McKinley. Zarfos looking to challenge for the 2nd position going into turn number 3 and 4, coming up to 3 laps to go this time. Zarfos a little bobble down the back straightaway, trying to make a move on to 2nd place position of Braden McKinley, coming around to 2 laps to go. Chris Adams has just over a second lead over the 319 of Braden McKinley. Coming around to one more time around the racetrack for the 4 car of Chris Adams. Chris Adams in the 4 car is going to come around and take heat race number 2 pretty easily over the 319 of Braden McKinley. 3 car Steven Hersberg 3rd. The 12 car Jeremy Zarfos will round out the top 4. Well, Langdon, that went quick and fast. We're already into the hot laps for the feature race.
Yeah, they normally do go pretty quick. As I did say, though, that was some pretty good racing there in the heats. Really weren't that many, wrecks or incidents or anything there. Maybe a few little occurrences by the 22, and I want to say I honestly don't know which other car that was that did happen to get that little incident there, but other than that, there was just amazing racing, honestly.
And drivers will have just over a minute remaining to get their setups just right here in the final hot lap session before this 30-lap feature rolls off. Going to have 12 drivers, if they can all make it, set to make the call for tonight's Hammerdown Racing Series 410 Sprint Car feature event of the night. Lots of single file racing in the heat races. Langdon, what do you expect to happen here in the feature?
Well, I don't know. It's going to be a pretty close race at the beginning, but I do feel as the race goes on that they will start to spread out a little bit more and more. But honestly, I'm still going to put my money on our points leader, Anthony Lopresto. And if that's not going to work out for him, I definitely got my money on Chris Adams.
Anthony Lopresto, he's got a long way to come tonight as he starts from the 11th place position. Now, what I do notice about these 410s, especially here at Volusia, that high line will come in to play, but this track will slicken off. And with 30 gallons in the tank, it'll be a lot of pedaling around the racetrack to make it stick, make it fast. Anthony Lopresto, your points leader right now, he has the longest way to go as he starts the very last row. All right, warm-ups are coming to an end, and we are ready to get underway for the 30-lap feature event of the night for the Hammerdown Racing Series 410 Sprint Car Division. Your feature lineup will look like this. Starting on the front row in the 71 will be John Lopresto. To his outside in the 4 car will be Chris Adams. On the second row inside in the 101 will be Kyle Windsor. To his outside in the 319 will be Braden McKinley. On the third row inside, in the 1 car will be Nate Anderson. To his outside will be the 3 car of Steven Hersberg. On the 4th row inside, in the 10 will be Bruce Hilton. To his outside, it'll be the 12 car of Jeremy Zarfos. On the 5th row inside, in the 420 will be Richard Spar. And to his outside, in the 021 will be Scotty Edwards. And on the 6th and final row, on the inside, in the 57 will be Anthony Lopresto, and to his outside, in the 22 will be Adam Buchanan. 12 cars, if they can all make it, set to go 30 laps of feature racing here at the Volusia Speedway Park for the Hammerdown Racing Series 410 Sprint Car Series. Pace truck going to lead them around the racetrack one more time before we get set to go to green. Langdon, any final thoughts before we go feature racing?
All I know is it's going to be a great race.
Well, race fans, get back, get ready to enjoy Hammerdown Racing Series 410 Sprint Cars. 30 laps here at the Volusia Speedway Park. Hit the like button, hit the share button. Share it to your friends and get ready to watch some excellent racing. 71, John Lopresto, Chris Adams, set to lead him to the green this time at a turn number 4. Pace truck getting ready to pull in. John Lopresto, and we're off. Lopresto gets a good jump, but here comes the 4 car, Chris Adams, trying to work the outside for the race lead right off the bat.
Got a costume
Yellow on the racetrack. Got the 319 Braden McKinley in the pits. Let's see if we can't go back and see what happened to the 319. Oh, Braden McKinley just looks like he gets Gets a little too high going down the back straightaway. Gets into the outside wall just a little bit. Comes back down the racetrack. Collects a couple of cars. Looks like the rest of them will keep it going. But tough break for the 319. Braden McKinley starts second row outside. He looks like he may not be able to come back in this race.
Yeah, that's what you'll start to see here is as there are a few more cautions during the race, field will start to thin out a little bit, and then you'll be able to you'll see those like dorsums that'll start to stick out more and more and more, and then you'll end up seeing them as your race leader.
Well, a tough break for the 319, definitely indeed. Not how he probably saw his race going. Out first lap, number one, down the back straightaway, but that's what happens sometimes. Is just unfortunate. Well, this time out of turn number 4, I believe we're getting set to go back to green. John Lopresto, your race leader, followed by the 4-car Chris Adams, 101 Kyle Windsor, Nate Anderson, and Jeremy Zarfos, your current top 5 on the racetrack right now.
Just a quick update on the 319. Seems he has hauled it up and left.
All right, single file restart, pace truck in, and we're back off to racing. 71 car John Lopresto with a great restart. John Lopresto is going to pull away from the 4-car Chris Adams down the back straightaway. Closest battle on the racetrack right now is between the 4th and 5th place position. 1 and 5 side by side down the back straightaway. Here comes the 1-car challenging for 3rd. One car, Nate Anderson, trying to look on the inside of the 101 for 3rd. Kyle Windsor. Anderson's going to take over the 3rd position going into turn number 2. Can't quite make the pass stick, and here comes Anderson back on the outside. Still following along with the 3rd and 4th place spots. Your closest battle on the racetrack right now is we're almost 3 wide. Here comes the 57 of Anthony Lopresto as we got another caution.
Caution came out for the 3, which I'm going to go back and see what happened there. Seems the caution went into, seems the number 3 car went into turn 1, almost just straight and rammed right into the wall on the outside of turn 1, and just ended up flipping over the fence.
Yeah, tough break for the 3-car Steven Herzberg. Looks like he just gets a little loose all by himself, and into the fence he goes, upside down, almost over the fence, as that will probably end his night. All right, we have 9 laps down, 21 laps remaining here in tonight's Hammer Down feature event for the 410 Sprint Car Series. Currently, your race leader in the 71s, John Lopresto, followed by the 4-car Chris Adams, Nate Anderson, 3rd, Kyle Windsor in 4th, and Jeremy Zarfos currently rounds out your top 5. Anthony Lopresto, your current points leader, started 11th. He's up to 6th.
$20 laps to go, which means 20 amazing opportunities to get the leader position and score some points for the night. Looks like Kyle Windsor actually making a little bit of contact there on the pacing lap with the 1 car of Nate Anderson.
All right, I believe we're going to go back to single file racing here once again. 71 car John Lopresto set to lead him back to the green. I believe this time, out of turn number 4, pace truck getting set to pull in. Pace truck is in, and we're back to green. 19 laps remaining, 71 car John Lopresto, still your race leader, followed by the 4 car of Chris Adams, but here comes the 1 of Nate Anderson on the outside. Anderson's going to look back to the inside of the 4 car of Chris Adams for 2nd. And Lopresto's got to love what he's seeing in his... John Lopresto's got to love what he's seeing in his rearview mirror right now. Too many Loprestos in this race for me to call.
Actually, just did see the 57 of Anthony Presto blinking back there, so Athens might need to take a look at that. Hopefully nothing bad's going to happen to that.
11 car Anthony Lepresto currently up to 4th. As he's looking to challenge, Anderson is all over the back bumper of the 4 car Chris Adams for 2nd. Halfway home here in tonight's feature event, still your race leader in the 71 car, John Lepresto, followed by the 4 car, Chris Adams, and the 1 car of Nate Anderson. Currently top 3 single file right now, followed by the 57 car. Actually, Anthony Lepresto's pulling into the pits.
Yeah, he got black flag for 30 seconds for... We do have a caution coming out. I do not know who that's for right now.
Looks like it might be the 420 of Richard Spart. He is in the pits. Oh, he gets a little contact with, I can't tell who that was, maybe the 22 car of Adam Buchanan. Sends him upside down and into the pits. Well, we started with 12. We're down to 7. 1 car. Nate Anderson pulls into the pits. Not sure if his night is done. Nate Anderson was your 3rd place runner. Started it challenging for the 2nd position. He pulls it into the pits. He will now go back to the rear of the field.
$11 laps to go till the checkered flag finally comes out. You're not starting, but your lineup for this restart is going to be John Lepresto up in 1st, Chris Adams in 2nd, Kyle Windsor in 3rd, Bruce Hilton in 4th, Jeremy Zarfos in 5th. We're going to have Adam, I don't know how to pronounce that, in 6th.
Yeah, we're going to go back to green with 7 cars on the lead lap. Still left to go. Pace truck getting set to pull in. 71 car, John Lepresto, still your race leader, followed by the 4 of Chris Adams. Pace truck pulls in. We're back to green. John Lepresto is going to lead him down the back straightaway, but the 4 car, Chris Adams, he's trying to make a challenge. Doesn't seem to have the speed that the 71 car does going down the back straightaway. Here comes the 101 trying to challenge for 2nd. Couldn't make the slide job stick. And here comes the 10 car, Bruce Hilton. He's up to 3rd. Bruce Hilton up to 3rd. Here comes the 1 car of Adam Buchanan. He had to restart dead last in the 7th position. Oh, that's Nate Anderson, excuse me. He had to restart dead last in the 7th position. He's back up challenging for 3rd once again. Anderson trying to make that outside line work with the 410 sprint cars. We got a car upside down.
Oh, man.
2nd place runner, 4 car Chris Adams, upside down, going down the back straightaway, brings out the yellow.
Well, is it too late to change my bets?
Tough break for the 4 car. Chris Adams had a great run going, gets into the back straightaway catch fence. Upside down he goes, collects a couple of cars in the process, and his night is done. "26 laps complete. We may get to go back to green-white checkered racing. If we go back green, five cars left on the racetrack. Your race leader, the 71, John Lepresto. Bruce Hilton, second. Nate Anderson, third. Kyle Windsor, fourth. And Jeremy Zarfos in the fifth position. Richard Spar in the 420 is out on the racetrack. He is 5 laps down. All right, looks like the drivers are getting them tight. Pace truck getting set to pull in. We're going to go green, white, checkered. And John Lepresto, your race leader, leads them back to green. John Lepresto with about a half a straightaway lead already going down the back straightaway. 10 car Bruce Hilton up to second. The 1 car Nate Anderson in third. We're going to come around to the one more time around the racetrack. White flags in the air.
Oh, the one gets a little bit loose there in turn 3 and is going to lose his position, go back to 4th.
Coming out of turn number 4, your Hammer Down Racing Series 410 Sprint Car feature winner on the night will be the 71 of John Lepresto. Second will go to the 10 car Bruce Hilton, followed by the 12 of Jeremy Zarfos. 1 car Nate Anderson in 4th, and Kyle Windsor will round out the top 5. Man, Langdon, what a race that was. That was a battle of nutrition right there.
Yeah, like I said, those racers, I mean, they just race. It's amazing sometimes how fast they can go. And there's been some amazing battles today during this race, and it's definitely a fun one to watch and definitely a fun one to announce.
Definitely some great battles on the racetrack, but John Lepresto, he seemed to check out from everybody. He was definitely the class of the field tonight.
That is definitely true.
See if we can't get a couple of guys up here for an interview right now.
Yeah, looking like Bruce Hilton actually just left the TeamSpeak, so I don't know if we're going to be able to get an interview with him. I'll be right back. I'm going to go grab them.
User left your channel.
Well, I just want to say what an excellent night of racing. I want to appreciate everybody from the Hammer Down Racing Series for inviting me to come out and announce for them. It's been an absolute pleasure and a blast to call this feature race on the night. And I believe Langdon is about to bring up one of our feature winner, maybe our runner-up.
Yeah, we'll bring in the 3rd place guy, Jeremy Zarfos. Oh no, it's not letting me move.
User was moved to your channel.
Okay, Jeremy, that was a strong run he had there. Ended up with 3rd place in the end of it. How'd the track feel to you today?
I'd say it was a little tough. They forgot the water truck in the bottom, so it made it pretty. It was fast in these 410s, but it was very narrow, hard to pass. And it's hard to see out of the right side of these wings. So even when you get below a car, there's about 2 1/4 lanes for 2 cars. So you have to commit to going through the slick stuff or potential contact. It was tough.
Yeah, just looking back at some of your laps, it definitely looked like it was obviously pretty quick, and it did look like at some points it was a little hard to control, as it was for all the other drivers. I mean, it looked like a pretty close battle the whole way through, almost the whole way through. Do you have anything else you want to say about it?
I'm glad I survived, to be honest with you. I need the points. I've been really trying to claw back up into points a little. Had a few bad finishes and some accidents and things. So happy to survive, keep it upright. I think I I had a lot more in the car, and a little disappointed, but happy to come home third with a car in one piece.
Yeah, that's going to be very helpful on your points. You're currently 7th, so hopefully this is going to get you a little bit more, up in those leaderboards. Anybody you'd like to thank or shout out today?
Yeah, Apple Chevrolet, York, Pennsylvania, A&K Customs, who painted this car for me, and Rob and Cindy and everybody putting this on. It's a good time. I like coming out.
Yep, well, I'll be sure to keep in contact with you, and hopefully I'll see you next race.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
Yep. User was moved out of your channel.
Okay, next we're going to bring in our first place winner of the race, Mr. John Lepresto.
User was moved to your channel.
John, how'd it feel today? How'd it feel on?
Felt good, man. It's nice to finally get a win. It's been a while.
Yeah, and it was amazing to watch there. You and the Ford did have some pretty close little racing there. And it looked intense on our side. It was actually really fun in my opinion. How did the track feel?
The track felt good. I actually thought it was going to get a little bit slicker than that, but I'm glad it didn't, because then it starts to build a curb and I'm not good. I ran a non-wing race last night and it was all up top and I was trying to run the bottom and it was not very good, so I'm glad it actually stayed as slick as it was.
Yeah, and it definitely kind of surprised me, because like you said, I thought it was gonna change a little bit more, but it didn't. But one thing I got to ask is, how did it feel to beat Ant?
Felt good. I actually got kind of lucky there. I'm not real sure what happened in the heat, but I figured he was coming there in the A main, and then I seen he got black flag, so I have no clue what that was about, but I figured he was going to give me a run for my money or probably win the thing if he would have stayed in it. So
yeah, sometime during there he was blinking quite a bit, and the admins had to go ahead and give him that 30-second black flag. But other than that, it was amazing to watch. Thank you for being here. Is there anyone you'd like to shout out or give thanks to?
yeah, I got to thank all my sponsors: Wicked Cushion, Next Gen Fab, Colby's Eye Paints, UDTV. You guys for the broadcast here, and Hammer Down for giving us a place to race. It's a fun league to run, and I enjoy coming over here.
Well, it definitely was a surely worth your time to watch the race. Well, for you to run the race and for us to watch the race. Thank you for racing today. I'll be sure to tune into the action, or if I'm broadcasting, commentating again, I will see you our next time. Next tomorrow.
All right, bud. Thanks for having us.
Yep, no problem.
User was moved out of your channel.
Okay, Tommy, that's gonna cut it off for the driver interviews. But like I said, it was an amazing race today. Definitely some close racing. Just little tiny mistakes are what kind of decided where everyone placed. Anything you'd like to add?
It was definitely good racing all the way around from each one of these drivers. Just bad luck and, track conditions. They're a little tough, but, where the driver's going down the back straightaway, hitting that cushion wrong, and it sends their car into the wall upside down. It's just the nature of the beast right now with the way the cushion is and the way the track slicks off, and running these 410 sprint cars. It's bound to happen at one point, and a couple of drivers it took with them tonight. And still a pleasure to call. Great racing. Congratulations once again to the 71 car, John Lepresto. It was an excellent run by him. He put on a show, led from flag to flag. And all those racers behind him, 2, 3, 4 wide racing, throughout the top 5, 6, 7. It was a pleasure to watch, pleasure to call.
Yeah, definitely. Tomorrow, Hammerdown is going to be having our super late models race at Williams Grove. Hopefully, that'll be good. That'll all run good. I really don't know what else to say.